Hello horror fam, welcome to my hack shack located right here in Los Angeles. My name is Johnny and I support horror. Man, I was just thinking, I had fun the other night. I had a couple friends over. Before you say anything, yeah, we stayed more than 6 feet apart. What they did was they brought their own chairs, they put them in my driveway while I sat on the porch. They brought their own booze, I had my own booze on the porch, and we just, talked for a couple hours and stuffed our faces with tacos and for some reason, chocolate fudge brownies, but it was delicious. It goes really well with beer. But had a great time just to see someone. I wish I could give them a hug. Wish I could give my friends a hug right now, but maybe in another month or two. It's a good night when you wake up with brownie crumbs in your sheets and a little bit of hot sauce on your chin. So I say overall is a pretty great night. So, question for you, horror fam. What kind of fun things have you been doing to keep yourself entertained other than binging horror movies? That's an easy answer. We've all been doing that. But just name some other fun things you've been doing. Go ahead and comment below after you watch this video and let me know what fun things you've been doing during quarantine. Okay, speaking of horror movies, let's talk about my review for today, The Wretched. I didn't get to see this movie at a drive-in movie theater like I wanted. It was pretty cool. IFC released The Wretched into about 11 drive-in movie theaters across the country. One of the 11 of the drive-in movie theaters that The Wretched was playing at was in Montclair, California. And I believe it was the premiere and the cast and crew was there. I really should have gone, but Montclair is about 45 miles east of LA. So I opted to just, pay for it on demand and watch it on the comfort of my own couch. The Wretched is a horror movie written and directed by a pair of brothers, Brett and Drew Pierce. The movie follows Ben, a semi-troubled teen who goes to live with his dad in a small lake town while his parents are going through a divorce. He gets a job at the local boating dock that his dad owns, and it's there that he meets a flirty little thing named Mallory that has eyes for him. To be fair, they have eyes for each other. Summer with his dear old dad and working with a cute girl doesn't sound like a bad way to spend 3 months. That is until one night when a witch emerges from some roadkill and inhabits Ben's neighbor's house. Later on, Ben witnesses the spooky witch over at his neighbor's house and then notices the neighbors start acting a little strange a couple days after that. He tries to explain all this weird stuff to his dad, but with Ben's troubled past with drugs and alcohol, his dad just doesn't believe him. Now Ben has to find a way to survive the rest of the summer with this witch next door and protect the ones he loves. First of all, let's talk about the witch in this because I found it visually very creepy. We find out this thing is a root witch, born from the earth and soil and roots and rock and all that stuff. Not sure why, but that's where it comes from. The mythology of the witch seemed to be missing from this film, but we do get a little info on it when Ben does some online research and finds out that this thing just comes from the earth. But thanks to makeup and special effects artist Eric Porn. Yes, Eric Porn is his name. He created something pretty gnarly. This witch would crawl out of carcasses with its long fingers or talons just breaking through the flesh. It had these dead but piercing eyes, scabby, slimy looking flesh, greasy long hair, sort of like a dead, naked, decaying zombie. The zombie-looking witch made a lot of sense because Mr. Eric Porn also worked as a special effects makeup artist on The Walking Dead and The Fear of the Walking Dead. I also liked how this creature would make these guttural noises and its bones would creak and crack as it would move. And as we're on the subject of noise, I have to give props to the sound mixing, sound editing, hell, the sound department in this film. I feel like sound is a very important element in any horror movie, especially when you're trying to create that tension or fear without showing the actual monster. This movie really magnified any footstep, creak, thud, snap of a twig, whatever sound it was. I feel they captured and heightened those sounds perfectly to help punch that fear right into you. Some of my favorite scenes in the movie didn't involve the witch on screen at all. I liked it better when I would just hear it move around a dark house in the middle of the night. So again, shout out to the sound department for not ignoring this very important element of horror. Another thing I liked about The Wretched was the nods or references to other films. There's a scene where Ben is looking through binoculars binoculars at his house, spying on his neighbors to see if he can spot anything strange. He has a broken arm with a cast throughout the entire movie, so this scene was very reminiscent of Hitchcock's Rear Window. Jimmy Stewart's character in Rear Window is pretty much doing the same thing, spying on his neighbors, but as you know, he's in a leg cast. There's also some references to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and I'll keep it at that so I don't spoil much for you here. And those references move me to the tone of the film, because it really wasn't consistent throughout. The movie poster alone leads you to believe that it's going to be something very dark and sinister, and at times it was. But on the other hand, there were a lot of scenes that were more cutesy, summer of love, coming of age, that type of thing. Sort of in the vein of, I want to say, Summer of '84, that movie came out in 2018, or I would say It or It Chapter 2, somewhere around in there. And I say that because when the film would switch to this type of tone, the danger felt more lighthearted and fun. But when the tone would get dark, the threat of danger got a lot more serious. So I could say that you get the best of both worlds in this film, right? At the time, I was in the mood to watch something more, all in wicked and evil, but I'm still glad I watched it. So yes, I would say overall, I liked The Wretched. It had a fun opening, a cool storyline, a good false ending where, you think everything's back to normal, everyone is safe, and then bam, right before the credits roll, you're hit with something. There's also a nice little twist that I didn't see coming, so that's always refreshing too. Just a little gripe here, I feel like the guy that played Ben in this movie just wasn't perfect for the lead role. And for some reason, I just really can't give you a reason why I think that way. I just know that when I was watching the movie, throughout the film, I was just thinking, couldn't they get maybe someone else to play this dude? And again, I wanted this to be just a straight up dark and evil film like the poster suggests, but I still think you should go and rent The Wretched because it does have those creepy moments in this film. Okay, horror fam, I will let you go for now. Thanks again for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you do so now and give this video a like. And remember, go ahead and comment below with some of your favorite things that you like to do during quarantine other than binging horror movies. Comment below, anything goes. And let's be friends to the end, people. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Horror Hack. Once again, my name is Johnny. Keep supporting horror, and this has been one hack of a show.